Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name's Lucy and this is Geek Petite. Thank you for coming along today. What I'm going to do for you is a Friday Sews video, but it's a little Q&A that was put together by some of the other Friday Sews ladies. So I'm just going to follow the same questions that they answered, and it's under the hashtag Get to Know Friday Sews. Okay, so there are 11 questions. And the first question is, what's your name? I think you already know. I'm Lucy. And where am I from? Now, this is always quite an interesting one because I was actually born in Scotland and then I've lived all around sort of the UK. And I also, when I was a child and adolescent, I spent about 8 years in 4 different countries. So I went to school abroad, which was a great experience, and I've kind of ended up coming back full circle, really, not to Scotland, but my mum grew up in Whitley Bay, which is where I live now. And yeah, so I've been back here for about 20 years. So I've kind of come to what is home, really, and feel really, really settled here. Okay, so the next question, how long have I been sewing for? Wow, so I first made my first garment when I was about 16. It was in the 80s and I was a mod, and I used to go down to Carnaby Street and you know, I absolutely adored all of the clothes down there, but they were so expensive. So my mum said, well, look, I'll show you how to make, you know, like a kind of basic mini skirt. So I got some lovely dog tooth fabric, and she showed me how to follow a pattern, and I think we made the skirt a bit tighter than the pattern showed, but anyway, that was the style at the time and that's what I wanted. So yes, I made that. That would have been like 1986, and then she taught me how to knit as well, but I didn't really carry on using sewing skills. Like I didn't carry on using a sewing machine. I just used to help her later on. Years later I would help her to like make curtains and things like that. Like I would just, you know, like pin the tape on and stuff, and just you know, do whatever would help her. And then about 10 years ago is when I started actually dressmaking, and it was because I started with knits purely by chance, because I had been buying a lot of lovely jersey tops but found that they were so expensive, and I was looking for, you know, an alternative to places like Bowden, but somewhere that was still really good quality, and that's when I came. Okay, for some reason the video just stopped there. But to go back to what I was saying, yes, I came across the Tilly and the Buttons Cocoa pattern, and I kind of thought, well, do you know, I wonder if I could actually, you know, sew that myself. You know, when I looked at it carefully, it looked quite kind of simple and in terms of construction and stuff. So I hummed and hawed for a while, but anyway, and then I bought that pattern, and I guess there was just no turning back from there. I later learned that, you know, it's probably best to start with wovens, but by then I'd already made quite a few things in knit fabric, so you know, that worked for me. So yes, I can't say I've made hundreds of garments in the last 10 years, but I've certainly progressed, and my skills have really improved, and I've got a nice variety of things in my wardrobe. There's plenty of space for lots more though. Okay, so question 4 is what kind of machines do I have? Okay, so my main sewing machine, I have got a Brother Innovis 10. That was my first new sewing machine, but that's actually in my wardrobe at the moment because in the lockdown I upgraded massively. I decided, you know, I was fortunately in a position where I could afford to get you know, something special, so I opted for the Benina B480, and I haven't been disappointed. So that is the main sewing machine that I use for my dressmaking and also for my sewing business. And in terms of a serger overlocker, I have got the Brother 2104D. I believe my friend Ruan, the Yorkshire Sew Girl, has exactly the same model, but I think it's quite a popular one. Yes, again, it's I do have another serger, but I've lent that to somebody, and that's a Janome. But they're both good. But yes, I have had no issues. Well, not many issues with my overlocker, so that's great. It's a good model. The next question is, are you self-taught or have you had formal classes? Right, so that's a bit of a mixture really. I started off online, so I once I got into making sort of these jersey tops, I thought I need to learn a little bit more and develop my skills. So I just had a look on YouTube, and I came across Anika Truman's channel, Made to Sew, and found like a beginner's course on there, and it was just so easy to follow. She is like the most superb sewing teacher, and just the way that she films and everything is so incredibly helpful. So I followed quite a lot of, well, I looked at the beginner's course, and there are a number of videos on there, and then I also just kind of did a mix and match on following other videos that she's got on there. massively helpful. And yes, just general kind of that led me to sort of looking at more specific tutorials on YouTube, like say it was about inserting a zip or something. I would go and have a look at a few different ones, because I think people have got such different styles, and then I would kind of choose which video I felt I could follow most easily, and then that's the one I would use. So I started to look up more specific things once I got going. So yes, that was massively helpful, that channel in particular, Made to Sew. But yes, so I have had some formal classes. I mean, I went on a basic dressmaking course, where we all made just a kind of a plain skirt, and that was really helpful in terms of sort of learning about different different types of seams, and doing buttonholes and zips and things like that. So that was really helpful for those sort of those sort of techniques that you use in all sorts of garment making. So number 6 is knits or wovens. Okay, so as I said, I started with knits. I mean, I just found it really easy to work with jersey fabric. I didn't have an overlocker for a long time, so I thought it was great that you could sew it on a ordinary sewing machine, and also that the fabric didn't fray, so you didn't have to do lots of finishing off and things like that. So obviously I did move on to wovens, and I've probably got quite a few woven garments, but I guess compared to knit stuff, I'll have more on the knit side. But I enjoy working with both, and actually I'm keen to work more with wovens over the next year, just because it's just good to sort of learn the different techniques that you use with wovens, and the kind of things like fitting issues and things like that. I would like to challenge myself to be able to make something more fitted, rather than just, in fact, forgot to mention what I'm wearing. So this is a Sew Over It Molly dress, and the fabric I actually got from Girl Charlie at the Knitting and Stitching show a few years ago. You can just see the kind of join there of the sleeve. So this one's long sleeves, and it's like a viscose jersey, so it's lovely because it's really lightweight. And the way that the weather's been recently, this heat wave, it's lovely and comfortable. Did that answer that? Yes. So basically both, but wanting to go more sort of challenge myself more with wovens in the next year. Number 7 is big 4 or indie patterns. Okay, well, this one is super simple for me. It is indie all the way. I have tried using patterns, the big 4 patterns, and okay, I haven't tried many, but they've all of them have been, you know, I've had big issues with. In fact, 2 of them I was actually teaching students, because I do one-to-one teaching as part of my sewing business, and it was actually, you know, really awkward for me because I couldn't understand the instruction, you know, the instructions on 2 of these patterns at certain points. Couldn't make head nor tail of them, let alone be able to show my student how to do it. So we kind of, I was just really honest with them and said that the instructions were really unhelpful, and we kind of just put our heads together and worked it out between us, luckily. But yeah, I just find the drawings and the instructions generally so unhelpful, and just the whole, you know, the whole layout of the instructions, and I don't know what it is, there's something about it that's just really unappealing, that really puts me off. And so yes, I just decide I just avoid them. I just don't get them. I absolutely love indie patterns because they are the opposite of that. They often have, you know, colour photographs. The instructions are so clear the majority of the time. You often get, you know, if you get a paper pattern, you get a lovely, you know, quality paper, not that horrible tissue stuff that is always got, you know, a million creases in. Yeah, I just find that sort of thing so infuriating. So yeah, indie patterns just tick all of the boxes for me. And yeah, have I got a favourite? A favourite, yeah, it's probably, and I know a lot of people say this, but it probably is Tilly and the Buttons, because her patterns just fit me really well, and I just find them really versatile. Like, you know, I love the way that you can, you know, you can have one pattern and use it in different ways. You know, like with the Junie pyjamas, you can also use that as a t-shirt pattern and that sort of thing. I just find them really, and obviously the instructions are great. And I've actually taught classes using her patterns, and other people find it, you know, find them really good as well. So yes, if I have to pick a favourite, I would pick Tilly. But again, I do want to expand out, and I am looking forward to, when I'm exploring more of my woven patterns, to, you know, trying out some different pattern companies over the next year. So that's number 7. Number 8 is online shopping or in-store. Okay, well, I've done a lot of shopping online, obviously during the lockdown, and just because the shops were closed, there was no other choice. But I do have some favourite online places that I tend to keep going to, because I think if you know, it can be a bit of a gamble sometimes, and if you know that you've had a really good quality fabric from somewhere, it just makes sense to go back and have a look on that website for, you know, whatever you might be looking for next. But I absolutely love going into a shop and actually, you know, seeing the fabrics in the flesh and being able to feel them and look at the drape and that sort of thing. And I'm incredibly lucky to live. It's about a 15-minute drive to First for Fabrics, which is an amazing shop. And yes, so I can always nip down there and in fact I'm going to go soon because I haven't been for so long, and I'd actually love to make some more Molly dresses for the summer because they're just so comfortable and great, aren't they, for just throwing on when the weather's, you know, whatever. If it's a bit cooler, you can put one on and have a cardigan with you, or if it's warm, and I perhaps do some without the added sleeve bit, and then they're like a nice short sleeve dress, aren't they? They're absolutely brilliant. So yes, I'll be going to First for Fabrics very soon. Okay, that was question 8. Okay guys, I just realised that I've been talking for ages without the microphone plugged in. So I'm not going to refilm that. I'm just going to turn up the volume when I edit it for that section. So I'm sorry that the sound probably changed and sounded quite different for a little bit. But I am now on to question 9, which is, what is your favourite sewing task? It's a difficult one, isn't it? It's like, I think depending on what you're making, some of it can be, you know, kind of really dull while you're trying to get to the bit that you want to do. Excuse me. I guess I would say probably what most people say, which is the favourite bit is just actually constructing the garment. So it's not those things like cutting out and you know, and doing any measuring and all that sort of thing. It's the bit where you've got everything ready, and yeah, you can just go for it. So yeah, everything machine threaded up and ready to go. All the bits cut out and ready to sew, and that is my favourite bit. Number 10 is, what would be the best advice you'd give to other sewers? And I think this is easy for me as well. I mean, what I would say is, particularly to beginners, is just to take it slowly, just take your time. You know, go and find a beginner's course online. Actually, as well as the Made to Sew channel, I know that the Stitch Sisters have recently launched a beginner's dressmaking course, and I'm sure that'll be absolutely brilliant because I've done quite a few of their courses before. So, you know, find something like that if you're doing it online, or if you prefer to, you know, do things in person, then, you know, just have a look around your local area, see, you know, Google it, see if there's anything coming up if you want to do it that way. But what I would just say is, as a beginner, take, you know, one thing at a time. Don't go out and buy loads of patterns, and don't jump to an intermediate pattern just because you really, really love the look of the garment. You know, take it steady, and also you know, practice sort of your sewing skills by making maybe other things, like maybe making a little simple little bag or something, or a little, you know, pouch or makeup bag, you know, just so that you're like practicing those skills of just, you know, drawing, sewing in a straight line, and, you know, creating your seams and things and doing your pressing and stuff like that. I think making something small that's quick and easy is going to really help you, and then you transfer those skills and techniques into making an actual garment. But yes, I would just say go slowly, and you know, even if you're not a beginner, it's about, don't be disheartened if you make mistakes, or if you find something like I've done before, where you're kind of saying, this looks impossible, I can't see how you can do this, there must be something wrong with me. Just you know, either ask other people for help, or just, you know, stop and have a breather, maybe put it away for a couple of days. The only thing is, don't put it away for a couple of months or years, because then it's really, really hard to it's much harder to go and finish things off later. But you know, just don't be disheartened. Keep going, because you will get there with practice and perseverance. Okay. Oh, we are at number 11, which is, how do you know about Friday Sews? I found out about it from the vlogger support group that I'm part of on Facebook. So yes, I saw a lot of the other ladies over there who were doing it, and yeah, thought I would join in. So yes, that is it. That's all of the questions answered. If there's anything about those questions you want to know a little bit more about, or if it's raised another question, then please do talk to me in the comments below. And I try to always reply to everybody. Yeah, so I really enjoyed that little Q&A. And it's just lovely to be back on doing a video. I've just got a new phone, so I'm going to be transferring all of my data over, and then I'll be filming on that next time. So I'm quite looking forward to using a different phone, and hopefully I'm not going to have these storage issues where it kind of just cuts me off mid filming. So thank you so much for joining me today, guys. I hope you've enjoyed that little Q&A, and if you liked this video, please do give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed already, just click on the red button in there. I think it's the right hand bottom corner as you're looking at the screen. Okay, and I will see you again really soon. Okay, bye for now, guys.